What's up guys and welcome back to On The Brick, where today I wanted to take another look at this place called MOCBAY. If you've never heard of them, well, I don't really blame you. They are pretty new, but I have actually talked about them before. In a previous video where I looked at this Thunderjaw from Serial Builder, I talked about something with the instructions and how you can't get them on BrickFuN and this and that. But Serial Builder himself actually watched the video and reached out to me to discuss some of the comments I made and any other questions I may have had. For instance, the reason that there is no more review from BrickFuN on the set is because of how they run their business. They want exclusive promotional rights to their material, so even though Serial Builder was the one who spent years making this Thunderjaw, he had to buy the rights to his own design back, and once he did that, BrickFuN wanted nothing to do with it basically. But still wanting to sell his design, that's where MOCBAY comes in. This is a website made by Serial Builder himself to not only sell his own creations, but eventually other people's creations as well. Now, you might know Serial Builder not just from his amazing Horizon Zero Dawn builds, but also from stuff like the Mad Max vehicles. So when I saw that they were no longer accessible on BrickFuN and instead on this strange website, I was a little weirded out by that and a little confused as well, because MOCBAY does not work like most other instruction websites do. If you go to BrickVault, Rebrickable, A-Full TV, literally any other place that sells instructions, when you buy them, you get a PDF download. That is pretty much the standard across the board and what most people are expecting. To me, this is just the single most convenient way of getting instructions and how it should be done. I can literally use these whenever, at any point, nor am I restricted to using them on my computer, which is great because I don't build here. I turn around to use my building desk for that. But having a PDF download and parts list does lead to a potential problem, and it is one that many custom MOC designers have run into. Non-LEGO companies will take the build and resell it as if it was their own, including the instructions. Serial Builder himself has run into this with a lot of his designs being taken by non-LEGO companies, and so for that reason he removed his products from BrickVault, wanting the rights back so he could make this website and sell them himself in a slightly different way. So instead of being able to download the instructions, you actually cannot. You must use them on this website, and that is the only thing that you can do. There is no download, there is no PDF file, you are only able to use it on the website, which I was pretty vocal about last time, thinking was a pretty dumb idea. However, a lot of people have said that they like how this is and have not had any issues with it, so okay, I have no problem saying that I was wrong. I still don't think that this is a great way to do this. I hope that this is not something that more people do, and I'll explain why in just one second. But if it's something that is not problematic or causing issues for others, then awesome. I have no problem with it being a thing. But I do have two concerns when it comes to how this works. First is just personal. Like I said, I don't build at my computer. So we're gonna get like first world problem-y here because like there are easy solutions to this. For instance, I could just use my phone, but I'm actually kind of always using it for other things. But even if I did want to use it, then having to keep it open on like the web page is just ever so slightly more inconvenient. Yes, I'm absolutely nitpicking at this point, but let's say that someone only has a computer or doesn't have like a laptop or something that is easily movable. That does limit their ability to build these sets, and when you're talking about something that is 7,000 pieces, that can potentially be problematic. Again, there are solutions to that though. The other major concern that I did have with this though is the long-term effect of this. What I mean is that I know, for instance, I'm not going to be living in my apartment for the rest of my life. At least I hope not. But I have a whole ton of LEGO and custom LEGO to move. each and every single one of which I have the instructions for. So if I am to move and something happens because it's Lego, they're not going to stick together when I'm moving them, well, I can just take out those instructions and rebuild it. And when it comes to certain things like the Eclipse or the Sandcrawler, being able to pull up the instructions on a tablet is a lot easier than having to build this thing around an actual computer. Because let's say I move in like 10 years or something like that, and Serial Builder just decides that this isn't working out, or something happens where they're not able to continue this and the website no longer works, well, I'm screwed. I don't have those instructions anymore, and I can't rebuild the set. And while that is not a super likely scenario, it is absolutely a possibility. Just as much as it is a possibility for someone potentially not having any internet, which means they can't use the instructions. I mean, I live in a well-established place of a first world country, and my internet still sucks. There have been plenty of times where I've had nothing to do but like read books or build Lego. And when those files are just saved on my computer, I can pull them up whenever and use them, but if I'm reliant on having the internet, then I can't. Now, with all of that said, I want to be very clear here that I fully understand why Serial Builder chose to do this because, well, his stuff was being stolen and he wanted to do something about it. It was absolutely well within his rights and ability to do something like this, and I'm glad he still at least has given people the option to continue buying his builds because I've seen a lot of people just straight up delete their instructions. So again, while I personally think this is a weird way to go about it, I totally understand why it exists. I don't think it's problematic that it exists, and a whole ton of people are totally fine with it. Now, with that said, having built the original Brick Vault version of the Thunderjaw, when we were having this conversation, Serial Builder offered to send me the updated version and asked me to give an honest review of the newer updated instructions. If you remember in the video about the Thunderjaw, the instructions really weren't the best, so I have them here in front of me. So I'm going to give my 100% genuine live reaction to this. I've not looked at any of these yet. All I have done is just open it up to this page. Now, one thing I want to say here that is very important is that if you are on Firefox, this page will not work for you. Let me actually go back here. If you go to your account, it's okay, it's a little weird that log out shows up and I've almost clicked on that every single time. But if you go into your account, you'll see all of these. These are all the instructions just for the Thunderjaw. If I click on any of them, again, I'm on Firefox here, this is what's going to show up. All you have to do is go into a different browser. Serial Builder is aware of this. They're going to fix it in a future update, don't worry. So I have it open here on Chrome. It does open. It does take a little bit to open here. This was the unedited version of me just loading this. Now this is a huge file, so I'm not surprised that it took a while. I think it was like 12 seconds total or something like that. But with that said, okay, there's some nice stuff here about how to get the bricks and everything, all of his information. This is just for the central frame. You can see it's got 195 pages and everything. And what I like about this, if you're thinking, oh, this is too small, boom, full screen, problem solved. That's actually really nice. I like how you have all the pieces to start with instead of making me scroll all the way to the back. And then let's see here. Okay, so it shows you the actual central frame, which was quite fun to build. Also, I have to assume, well, I'll go back to that in a second. You have that. Now here's the big thing. Okay, I already like this a lot better because previous steps are not pink. These steps are not pink. You can see clearly what has to go where. I'm just going to scroll through this really quick and keep going. This is actually, bringing back memories. This was an interesting build. Like I said in the other video, I'm not a Technic guy, so building stuff like this was not something that I necessarily wanted to do. I can't, there's no scroll bar? Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna, okay. So that's another change that I do like, is this once again, actually showing proper places to put these things. Okay, that's cool. So I'm guessing this is the proper, this is a little hard to see, but that's just the website, that's fine. But I'm guessing this is the proper building order. So start with the central frame, go to the dorsal base, neck frame, detailing, legs. I think this is like supposed to be the order that you build this in. That's great. Makes a lot more sense than it was in the last one too. I'm trying to remember if there was any section that had like really weird builds. I don't really remember. No, because the legs were fine. Neck armor. Ooh, yeah. Okay, let's look at neck armor. Because neck armor was interesting how they did it in that one. Again, this is the completely unedited version of how long this takes to load here. This is one ever so small downside nitpick, whatever you want to call it, is that, oh no, I have to wait for these things to load. I ran out of things to say, I don't know, so I'm just going to keep that silence in there. No, seriously, like, if I had to... I can talk endlessly if you want me to talk endlessly, but sometimes I just don't have anything to say, so, oh, okay, here we go, thank God, okay. Once again, so the important thing about this, okay, also instantly a lot better. In the last one, these were just floating, didn't really tell you where to put it. So, okay, and then yes, this is showing you that the order that the instructions are in is how you are supposed to assemble this thing. That's great. Also, I remember like when I was putting this together the first time, for the longest time, I thought this was the front end, which, nope. It was only when I put the head on that I was like, oh, that's kind of a surprise. But yeah, in the original, you would finish this little build, and then it would just be floating, and you couldn't really see where to put it. Here, it's pretty clear. When I zoom in, it's like, yeah, no, it's pretty clear where this is supposed to go. If you need to zoom in, you can zoom in too. That's really nice. That is very helpful. Yeah, these updated instructions are a lot nicer. How much are these? I'm just doing this live. Okay, so also this is one of those things where right now it's only him. Other designers are on the way though. Who knows? I have some stuff that we might put on here. I've already bought this, so I don't know, or technically gifted to me. 35, yeah. Okay, I'll say that's worth 35 euros. Which, at the time of filming this, is about $35. I don't know if it'll stay that way. I'll say that's definitely worth it. These are 60... Yeah, this is 60 euros for 7,000 pieces, so it's a bit less than... It's about, what, 5,000 pieces less than Brick Vault's Ghost, but it's also a different build. But yeah, I will 100% say that if you are okay using this style of instructions where it's on your, I closed out of it, where it's just on your browser here, you can't download it, it's limited to that, it's not that bad of an experience. It is limiting, in the long term it is definitely limiting, but it's not that bad of an experience. And it stops non-LEGO companies from being able to just take these other builds. You know, this was the place that I bought the Thunderjaw from. I bought the last one. After I bought it, they probably realized that they weren't able to actually do it anymore because, well, it was taken down. Or they could have just linked here, which is fine. But it does mean that they cannot take these 3 other sets, which is the whole point of it. I guess if they really, really, really wanted to, someone could go through and screenshot page after page after page. That is way too much work to be worthwhile. So, yeah, you know, that's whatever. Now, Serial Builder has said that if you want to use non-LEGO pieces to build his stuff, that's totally fine, as long as you buy his instructions. And I think, you know, I think that's perfectly fine too. Something like the tall neck is going to cost a huge amount of money to get in real LEGO. I don't know if he's included any price estimate on here. It doesn't look like he has. That's fine. But it, you know, just because like being 7,000 pieces, this is going to cost a whole ton of money. I think I know someone built it and it's like, it's well over $1,000 at this point. But if you build it in non-LEGO or just use the majority of the pieces from non-LEGO, at least whatever they offer, you're probably going to save a huge amount of money. Now, part of that is knowing what pieces to get and to not get, because there are certain non-LEGO elements which just do not hold up like they do in real LEGO, which are going to make builds like this questionable, and it's going to make you wrongly think that the build is wrong. For instance, hinge pieces like this, which I know I'm circling around, but these hinge pieces all on these platforms, you want to get those in real LEGO. If you get them in non-LEGO, it's not going to hold the weight of this. It's going to be problematic. Just get them in real LEGO. Stuff like that does make a pretty big difference, actually. And actually, Technic in non-LEGO is a little weird still. But point being, just buy the instructions. Just support the designers. That is, the main ask of custom builds. It is the one thing that I hate seeing in the non-LEGO community is people who will go and they will spend $200, $300, $400 on a non-LEGO set, and then someone will say, well, did you buy the original instructions? And then they go, oh, I can't afford that, or no, I didn't ask them to make this for me. Like I care. These people are giving you this amazing product. The least you can do is support that, because otherwise they're going to stop and then no more LEGO for you. So seriously, cut it with the excuses, because I know this is slightly off topic, but the amount of excuses that I have seen from people who are just saying that they can't afford it or this or that. If you can afford the multi-$100 non-LEGO set, you can afford the instructions. And if you can't afford the instructions, then you can't afford the non-LEGO set. It's that simple. And also, just because you have the money for something doesn't mean that you can afford it. That's a whole other conversation. Anyway, if you want some awesome Horizon Zero Dawn builds, then make sure you check out MOCBAY, or if you like Mad Max, then Serial Builders' Mad Max collection is still available on Brick Vault. And like I said, and as he told me, he's got more stuff coming, including things from other designers, so if you want, you can make an account for free and be notified when that stuff happens. Of course, I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is this a style of instructions that you'd be okay seeing more of, or do you not like them? Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm going to include a link to Serial Builder's Instagram so you can check him out as well. If you haven't already, consider checking me out on Instagram, Discord, and of course on Patreon, where you can join all these wonderful people and get shoutouts like Jonathan. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.